guys, welcome back. Today we're doing an overview of the Riverlands biome for the Medieval Charter Challenge. Oh boy, this took some time. This is a very large area. It's actually the largest biome currently in the Medieval Charter Challenge. It has a maximum of 8 peasant households and 7 yeoman households, so it's almost a full deck because the maximum I gave each area was 8 lots for that particular class. So it's large. Like, this is a very large area. There's lots of room to expand. I know I posted on Tumblr about being a little irritated with, not irritated, unless I was irritated with myself. There was a tutorial where you can basically have rivers on the lot, which I thought was really cool, but at the same time, those lots were mostly river at that point, so it's like, well, I couldn't put a lot, like a house on there, a family on there. Like, it wasn't gonna work out. There is a giant river right here, so it's fine. And plus, most of the medieval cities that I could find that were on a river were like to the side of the river. They didn't have the river going straight through it. I still gave some of the lots ponds because they need it for various reasons, but I think this is fine. Ignore the ship, you can't see it from there and it belongs to that other biome. But they do have swans. Hello, swans. And yeah, it turned out a lot closer to the way that I wanted it, thankfully. I was inspired a lot by Norman castles, which is what I wanted this to look like, but when I first built it, I really didn't have what I wanted in the game, so it threw me off, but it's been fixed. It looks the way I wanted it to. You know, we've got some cows over here. Farming, vineyards is a big thing. But the main thing with the Riverlands is they're the largest, so there's a lot of opportunity for people in other areas when they're full to immigrate here. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Like, I know there's 3 biomes on this particular neighborhood map. There is the dry coast, Riverlands, and the mountains, just because they all needed to be on this kind of terrain. Why are you loading like this? Don't you even. I'll give it a minute. They all needed to be on this kind of terrain, and you can't see each area from like the neighborhood view or the map view. So it's fine. Like, we know these are technically supposed to be way further apart, and that's all that matters. The dry coast also has a little bit of room to expand. It looks like they've got about 6-7 lots available. Of course, my cat is singing the song of his people. Why there, thank you. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to get over to the mountains biome to show you. See, they don't have any space to grow. The second any of them has a teenager that's ready to age up, they can't live here anymore. They have to go somewhere else. And I haven't decided how I want to do that. If it's they go to the biome with the most open lots, if they go to the biome that's closest to them, if they go to like the Jarl with the most money. I don't really know how I'm going to do that yet, which I need to consider, but I also am not going to have teenagers for a while, so it's fine. So, the Riverlands. I have a pretty distinct style for this. I wanted to go with the cob house really badly, but it looks terrible in The Sims 2. I couldn't do it right, so I settled for, you know, kind of a longer house with dormers, but it still has the plaster, and it still has, you'll see when I open the lots, but like the windows are all inset because that's something with cob houses. And then for the, as you can see, there's 2 different styles here. The peasants are raised up on a foundation of stone, and the yeoman families, it's just kind of flat. The reason why theirs are flat is because A, they've got a chimney, and B, they have water wheels, so it just didn't look good with the foundation. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with it. The downside to having all these lots, though, is they really can't use these resources currently because there's no one actually living there. Also, they have the little hobbit gates, which make me so happy. Anyways, this area actually is the only one where the Jarls break my rules of being just a husband and wife. I've done that for everything, but for the Vaughn family, I did this for a couple reasons. Okay, apparently the grand reveal is going to take a second. But yeah, for the Vaughn family, I wanted to use a specific set of Sims, which were my George Boleyn sim, my Mary Boleyn sim, and then my personal version of Anne Boleyn. And I just said, screw it, we'll make them siblings. Another reason I wanted to do this is because I am going to have the death by childbirth mod. I have realistic sickness. There's a lot of ways that Sims can kind of kick the bucket. So I want there to be some spouse options since everybody else is paired off. Every single person is paired off. And it's okay that these guys age a little without that. Like, I'm fine if they get a little bit older and aren't married yet. They will eventually be married. I might also roll to see if, like, we move somebody else in, like, from outside, but we'll see. We'll see. There will be the steward as well, so maybe the steward will get interested in one of the girls. So their last name is Vaughn. The Jarl is Jory, and his two sisters are Elowyn and Marin. This one's Elowyn, that one's Marin. We'll see them in a second. I went with Welsh names, Cornish names, and Scottish names for first and last. I've got a decent mix, I would say. Their color for the Riverlands is red. And as you can see, I'm showing you this only because the loading times are getting a little bit slower. I didn't add too much CC this time around. I added clothing, I added some build mode items, and I added some buy mode items, like the water wheel, the fireplace, but I tried not to add too much more because the whole goal of this neighborhood is for it to be a fairly quickly loading neighborhood. I want to be able to kind of jet through each and every household as quickly as possible. I know once people start having kids, I'm going to have to add a little bit more CC, but right now there's no point in putting it in the game if I don't even have, you know, babies, toddlers, kids, none of it. So, like, why slow my game down for no reason? What else can I tell you while this loads? I'm using the Pooklet Rehash skin tone set for this biome. Everybody's eyes are teal, and I actually only had 3 teal eye recolors, so it's 1 in 3, which will be interesting. A lot of the other ones have like green eyes, and I've got lots of different recolors of green, or blue, lots of different recolors of blue. This is, I think, the first area where it was very limited to 3 eyes. They have kind of darker dirty blondes. These aren't quite the tones I wanted, but I wanted these hairstyles more than I wanted the colors. Very curly hair. Average height, so 5'5" to 5'10". They're known for having widow's peaks and like very arched brows. So when I went through looking for Sims to populate this biome, I actually just looked for arched brow Sims. Like, a lot of times I'll go through my newest creations first, like all my Catherine Howard Sims got placed, things like that, but for this one I really wanted someone who already had an arched brow to be in the neighborhood. The exceptions being George Boleyn's brows weren't very archy, and neither were the Anne Boleyn. But that's an easy fix. I can just arch their brows a little. I think I had to do that for a couple of them, just arch it a little bit more, because while they looked like they had arched brows with the CC they had on once they were stuck in limited CC land, it didn't look so archy. So first, let's take a look at the house. As you can see, I got the round walls. They're still a little boxy in portions because to have it truly round, it had to be really small, and I wanted these towers to be somewhat substantial, so you can see like they're round, but then there's like this part that's not round. I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not mad about it. It's also the gray stone that I wanted. If we ever need another floor, we can definitely do that. They are probably the only, not probably, they are the only lot that got this kind of gray stone, just to match. As you can see, it's very, very lush. With the little round portholes. They have the pigeons. I need to put in swimming pool tiles. I'm going to do that now because I downloaded the water mod. Not Garden Center. Why did I hit Garden Center? I don't know why I hit Garden Center. But yeah, I downloaded the water mod, which means if you don't have a little pool tile, things get a little awkward. I'm going to put this thing. You know, I'll figure that out later because it'll mess with my deco, but that will be a very pretty color once it's on Hero. Actually, I'll just show you real quick. See? Pretty. But I gotta find where to put that. Oh, haha. Aha! It'll change back as soon as I move it, but yeah, so pretty pond. They've got a little waterfall. They've got a lot of, you'll see, potted plants and sculptures, and that's because for this area, especially the Jarl, like, the Jarl is not about work. Some of the other areas, the Jarls either have no choice but to contribute by working, or it's just part of their culture to do it. Not here. Not here. The Jarls are very much, even if they're not all pleasure sims, like, they're about that lifestyle. So they don't really do much of anything, so I kind of had to fill their space. Everybody kind of bowls, that's the thing. And then just having like really pretty places to sit that are surrounded by potted plants. Fountains are a big thing. Flower gardens are also really big. They're the only one that has like truly expansive flower garden, but everybody's got a little bit. So you can see we've got like a wishing well, more sitting, more fountains. They do have some little mining objects. They will not personally mine them, but if people are hired to work in this lot, they can. Even more places to sit. The fairy garden, kind of the religion in this area, everybody's got one of these fairy statues that you can kind of pray to, and then just like a little bowl, like an offering bowl in front of it. Because this is the Jarl, they've got quite a few other things just hanging about. So there's like mushrooms and one of these little marble ball things, the fairy there. And they also have just like a statue garden, which they're wealthy enough to afford, so that's why they have it. Most of the other lots don't have this at all, and they just have like a tiny area where the fairy is. Another thing that they also have this little offerings thing where you toss a coin in and it either is good or bad. This is a deco well, but there is a well that works on each lot. I think this is their working well, but nothing really too much on the insides yet. I haven't been decorating. Like I plan on doing that as I play each family. Come on. Oh, apparently I got rid of that. Okay, so I had some notes of just like what it's going to look like on the inside. They are going to use the bubble blowers. Wine is a big thing. Midwives, actually there's going to be a lot in this area, or they'll come from this area. Curtained beds. Yeah. And then stone. Lots of stone. So let's take a look at them a little bit closer. So Elwyn here she was originally my personal version of Anne Boleyn, just with archier brows. She is a pleasure sim who is a Scorpio. Interested in life skills and makeup, doesn't want somebody who wants to sell her things. That's fair. And we don't really care about interests, do we? Do we? No. She wants to become a Hall of Famer. All of these are probably going to be re-rolled. I think I mentioned that with the like new aspirations by Lemaire, I think is how you say that. But I haven't done it yet. That'll be right before gameplay. Jory, who was George Boleyn, look at that amazing nose. I'm so excited. Jory here is a knowledge sim, also a Scorpio, which I thought was funny that he rolled to be the same as Anne, or Elwyn. What does he want to do? Become chief of staff. Very noble of you. I'm not looking at their turn-ons, turn-offs. It doesn't matter. Marin is their other sister. She is a Capricorn. Fortune sim who wants to be a business tycoon. So something tells me Marin is kind of going to be the one running the show, whereas Jory's going to be stuck with his nose in a book, and Elwyn is just going to be living her best life. So they will be fun to play. And like I said, they are all single, so if any of the other Jarls or their wives die, there's some spouse options. I will also let them marry the Yalman families if it comes to that. But we'll see. Yeah, it's still, even though this is taking a little bit longer to load than it did previously, and I don't know why I keep saying it's not responding, it's being fussy today, but it still loads pretty quick. Like, compared to my other neighborhoods, this is a breeze. Because Adiran is just, I usually open Adiran and I go and do something else for like an hour, and then I come back. And it's also really fussy. Like Adiron, I can't leave it as the main screen. For whatever reason, that tends to make it freeze. And the Uber hood is starting to get there just because I'm adding more and more modern content as I rebuild my modern folder. At first it was super quick because I didn't have any modern CC. I got rid of it all, telling myself, oh, you'll never, you know, you're never gonna play a modern game again. You're done with that. Yeah, that was a lie. Although, speaking of modern things, I am tempted to add some more neighborhoods. Because I am not really going to be doing the Different Faces challenge after Catherine Parr is done. I cut off the Sim Sculpting Sunday thing. There's a couple other things that I'm not doing currently, which means I now have the availability to do things now. So I've thought about doing, somebody else did it. They called it the Hubris Hood, where they basically added all the Uberhood sims, all the life story sims, just like every sim, all just chucked into this neighborhood and let story progression run wild. And my new computer is pretty awesome. I don't know if it'll break the game, but I kind of want to try that. It looked very fun. Okay, so up next, who are we on? Balfour. So this is the Balfour family. They are the only Yaman family currently. And as you can see, we are more typical of all the other areas in terms of just the husband, the wife, it's fine. And I don't know if you caught what they had in their backyard, but I have decided to let this area, I'm just letting the fantasy creatures exist because I really like them and I don't get to use them in a lot of settings, and that's not fair to me. So they raise and breed winged horses. One of the other empty lots in this neighborhood will have unicorns. They don't have griffins. I think I signed that to a different area, but yeah, I want to use these fantasy cool creatures that I don't get to use because they're awesome, and yeah, I want to, and so I'm going to. That's about the gist of it. I like that the rehash skin tone as well it's a skin tone set, has a lot of different shades. Some of the other sets that I chose because there's only like 2 or 3. Rehash I think has 9. It's not the darkest skin tone set, like I believe this is the darkest tone, so not very dark at all. But I still like that there's a little bit of variety. So this is the Balfour family. We have Leonlin, which I always want to say Leonin, which is wrong, but eh. And his wife, Tidfil? Tidfil. We're gonna go with Tidfil. Yeah. Hello, friend. I don't remember what sims I used to create them. I feel like she's an Anne Boleyn, but I don't know. They're cool anyways. So Leonlin is a pleasure sim, professional party guest, and a Gemini. Tidfil, I'm gonna say that word wrong many times, I'm sure. Fortune sim, earn 100,000 simoleons, and is a Leo. So as you can see, there's some similarities to the Jarl's lot. They still have their fairy, same fountain, the little shrine thing. Some of the differences, they have the water wheel, they've got a fireplace, it's this little round one here. But the main thing with these houses that I'm really happy about, which I've got to add windows, I forgot that I changed this up, is like these sunken in portions where the windows go. It just looks interesting, and it's part of why I wanted to do the cob houses, is like they were supposed to have inset windows and doors, which I thought was really cool, but in Sims it's problematic, and you will see why it's problematic as soon as I put windows in the dormers that I apparently forgot. Okay, so more of the outside, you can see we've got Stallion, and then we've got the mare. I decided with the winged horses, it would be very funny if they laid eggs. It just pleased me, and so that's what they do. So that's why she's got 4. I'm gonna say the standard clutch of eggs is between 1 and 6. They also, you'll notice that they're just a chestnut and white, or in that case, that one's solid chestnut. That's the same as the cows. I decided to just give them kind of a uniform color look. That one's probably a bay, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Just because then, like, if this horse turns up in another area, say one of their kids immigrates and takes a foal with them and it's in another area, they can go, oh, that is a Riverlands horse. I mean, the wings would probably give away, but still, it pleased me. Oh, I needed to fix this as well. As you can see, I had to do family funds to get people on lots, which I also have not decided what that's going to be, how I'm going to balance that out. Because for some of them I was doing like the mortgage shrubs, but like this was just easier. Oh, they have the Skittles as well. But yeah, I don't know. So inside of the house you can see it's interesting because of these inset I didn't inset the doors, but the inset windows. So I've made for some interesting layouts. We're just gonna go with that. I had to make sure that they had a spot for a for a double bed. I don't know why 4 came to mind, but yeah, so I think, yeah, this one has space for a double bed. At least they can sleep somewhere, but yeah, I like it. And I like that the Yaman, they have like the yellow stucco, whereas the peasants will have more like a thatch. And yeah, so that's the Balfour family. I don't think we got a single family sim in this area, which if I ever wanted a family sim to go nuts and have a ton of babies, this would be like the one acceptable time because we need to fill out spaces. And I don't think I got one. But my peasant families at least have lots of room to grow. I know the original challenge has like limits on, like the peasants can only have I think like 3 kids, and if they have any more they get taken away. I haven't figured out how to do that. I think I'm gonna modify it to where, yeah, I don't know how I want to do that because I do want to limit them, but at the same time I don't know, that would require an orphanage, but then that could give the stewards something to do, is like manage all that. I don't know, it could be fun for gameplay if they had like a secret kid that they hid. Anyways, so we're gonna go next to the Greer family. I also tried to place the lots according to the neighborhood deco, so I believe that wine is a big thing in this area. So I think I have like 4 peasant households that grow different types of grapes for wine. And so I tried to put them placed next to like the little vineyard things. I did have to make CC for this, but not too much. I think I just had to make men's clothes mostly, because there wasn't a lot that was red. So this is the Greer farm. As you can see, it's a little bit more overgrown than the Yaman families. I just feel like the Yaman families would probably have more time to manage that. It's also, they come in this dark thatch, and then they've got the stone steps and are on a platform, or a foundation, whatever you want to call it. Just to make them a little different. I don't know if technically it would be more expensive to put it on stone or not, but whatevs. So as you can see, they have, you know, the little fountain again. They have the same little wishing spot. They've got their little fairy over here. All of the peasant and Yaman families too, they have these red and white flowers because it's like the base layer. Because again, red is the color of the Jarl. They want to show that they're supportive of the Jarl. These are their grapes over here. I wasn't sure, I know that these require seedlings, but I haven't messed with them yet. I just remember Sun and Moon posted recently about that, so we'll find out. They have their little Skittles patch. They also have a few plants, because like I said, midwives are going to be pretty common in this area, like, and medicine in general. So I kind of wanted to show like arnica, rosemary, whatever, like kind of healy plants. I don't know. I give them a little bit of a decorative element with the 3 crabapple trees. And then the insides of the house are just this kind of plain plaster looking thing. But you can see how layouts get a little awkward. Like, that's a bathroom. It'll work, but the layouts get a little awkward sometimes. So we have Earlise is the spouse here. She is a fortune sim, city planner, cool, and she is an Aquarius. Muradin is her husband. I don't really love this hair, but I do at the same time. I don't know, like, it's mostly the hairline. It gets a little wonky, but I do like it. The hairline was weird, so you can't really tell, but I did. Oh, and I wanted to put a hairline on this. That was what made me mad, and I couldn't because this ones that I have are all semi-grouped, which are not. They don't match the Pooklet colors. Sometimes you can get them too, but not here. This actually I know is my Egwene Elvir sim. I don't remember who Earlise was, but this is Egwene, but I think it's Egwene. I don't know. I always said Egwene, and then people were saying Egwene online, and it lost me. Gender swap. So pleasure sim, Hall of Famer, and a Sagittarius. I did make this outfit as well in terms of I recolored this part red, and I recolored this part kind of brown. But I left the thing. This is the original Robin Hood outfit. So yay. Now we're gonna go to our last family. I'm both really excited and really nervous about the next section, like the next biome. I am probably gonna have to download some more plants for it. And I already know I'm downloading a windows and doors set, but like, I'm really excited about it. It's gonna be very interesting because this is actually a style that I have never even attempted. It's just not something that I've played through, so we'll have to see what it looks like. So this is gonna be the Teague family. They are our second peasant household. And yeah, it's been 26 minutes and we've managed to open all of these households and not have major loading time. I could probably start cutting it out at this point, but I just feel like keeping it just shows you and being totally transparent about my loading times. Because at the end, I'm gonna, look at my folder and be like, all right, this is how much CC I have to get it to load this fast. So they actually have a 2-story house. Not a lot of the peasant households are 2-story, or even the merchant households, but they do. So, and also, I don't like how that turned out, but I had no other way to do it. I have floor hiders as well. I don't really like the brown, but it's alright. So, again, some very familiar elements. They actually have like little sitting areas. Because I figure you're gonna want to like ape your elders, so to speak. So, or elders, oh my gosh, betters. So one thing that they might want to try to have to show, that they're prosperous is, I don't remember what 1,000 is. Whatever, I'm gonna have to fix everybody's money anyways. I just see that they have a pond. Oh, I can't put it there. Oh, that's rude. That's some rude behavior. Can I put it over here? Put it over here. No? Really? 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 Can I put it under this? I bet I can. Sorry. I can. You can kind of see it, but I'm okay with that. I just want the pond water to look right. So yeah, they have like the little scenic sitting areas just to kind of show, they're trying to move up in the world. There's their little ferry. They actually have the laundry set up and the jacuzzi, which is just a giant tub. So this is meant to be more of a prosperous farm than maybe some of the other ones. They have ducks was kind of their thing that they're gonna do, and I decided to give them just like this little duck shed that's just solid stone. And they also have some medicinal plants, I think wintergreen, pennyroyal, St. John's wort, arnica. I always put arnica because arnica salve, like I use that in my day-to-day life now, so I always do. As you can see, again, the layout is what it is, but I don't think it's too bad. And then I used these ladders for the upper portion, but I like it. So this is Gwydion. He is also a fortune sim who wants to own 5 top-level businesses, and he is a Gemini. It's also very pretty, and I would like some more screenshots. I'm gonna have to reopen my thing because I just realized it crashed. Rude! Okay, and his wife is Staryn. Where are you, Staryn? There she is. And I know that she is my Poppy Corbin Touche sim. She's in BBC Harlots. So yeah, and I just arched her brows a little bit more. She's very pretty. I'm very excited to see what kind of kids that they have together. She's also a fortune sim. Also a Gemini. Interesting. I rolled all of these and she wants to be a world-class ballet dancer. Okay. So yeah, that is the Riverlands. Up next, I'll go ahead and spoil it a little bit. We're going to the tropical forest, which is a medium biome. And I haven't done as much decision making for it, but I'm very excited to see it. So yeah, the next time we're in the MCC, we will be in the tropical forest. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you liked this video, definitely give it a like, and I will see you in the next one.